Hi, we are the team composed by Marian Marcela Redondo, Héctor David Jiménez Flores, and me, Daniela Peña Quesada, and we are going to talk about the electrochemical cells. First of all, an electrochemical cell is an apparatus that is used to generate electricity from a spontaneous redox reaction, or conversely, that uses electricity to drive a non-spontaneous redox reaction. In here, the reactions react upon electrodes or metal surface. And in here in this image, we can see that the orange and gray bar are the electrodes. Also, a salt bridge is used to connect the oxidant and reductant half cells. In any electrochemical cells, the electrons flow over an electrical connection from the anode, that in this example is the copper, so it gives away or loses electrons and that pass through the salt bridge and are deposited in the cathode, that in this example is the silver. So we have to keep in mind that the substance that is being oxidized is the anode, therefore it is the reductant agent. And the cathode is the substance that is being reduced, therefore is the oxidant agent.
There are two types of cells, the primary cell and the secondary cell. The first one, that is the primary cell, have high density and get discharged slowly. Since there are no liquids or fluid inside these cells, they are also known as dry cells. The internal resistance is high and the chemical reactions are irreversible. Their cost is cheap and they are really easy to use. The secondary cells have a low energy density and are made of molten salts and wet cells. The internal resistance is low and the chemical reactions are reversible. Therefore, their costs are more higher than the primary cells and they are more complicated to use. There are also two types of electrochemical cells. The first one are the galvanic cell, also known as voltaic cell. In this type of cells, the chemical energy is transformed into electrical energy. And also, the anode is negatively charged and the cathode is positively charged. And the electrons are originated from the species that undergoes oxidation. And the other type of cell, that are the electrolytic cell, the electrical energy is transformed into chemical energy. These cells are featured with a positively charged anode and a negatively charged cathode. And the electrons are originated from an external source, such as a battery.
Electrochemical cells have several uses in the society, but particularly in industry. We often see them as batteries, but another uses are the electrorefining of many non-ferrous materials, the production of, of materials like lead, zinc, aluminum, and copper, pure, and many important batteries, and also the fuel cells that serves as a source of clean energy in many locations around the world. But this also has a bad side. For example, the disposal of cells affect the environment. We can see that the working principle of a cell is very environmentally friendly, but pollution is often caused when creating the power source in order to create electricity. For example, in a fuel cell is used hydrogen, and although hydrogen can be produced for power sources carbon dioxide free, in the industrial they use fossil fuel, and we know that fossil fuel is one of the most contaminating pollutants in the world. Another example is that in the non-rechargeable cells, the materials likely are usually just thrown away, and this causes the contamination of air and water causes that last there many years in order to disappear, and by that time the contamination was already caused. Among all the types of electrochemical cells, the ones that affect the environment the most are the secondary batteries and the fuel cells that we often see in car and lead storage batteries. That's all for us. Thank you for your attention.